Welcome everybody. Today in this video I'm going to be talking about distance vector loop prevention mechanisms. I'm going to specifically be doing it on RIP version 2, and I'm going to explain the whole split horizon, route poisoning, and then poison reverse, because there's lots of confusion or not some great text out there on the internet, so I figured I'll do a video on it, I'll do some captures and explain what is going on and how split horizon with route poisoning, or split horizon with poison reverse, and how route poisoning works. Okay, so I got a simple little topology. These two little routers, they're connected together on fast Ethernet 00, and they're running RIP, and I have two loopbacks, so they actually have a RIP route in the routing table. Split horizon, this is the actual definition I got out of my CCIE version 5 book. And it says, instead of advertising all routes out of particular interface, RIP version 2 omits the routes whose outgoing interface matches the interface out which the update would be sent. Wow, very, very confusing. But when I do my packet captures, we'll see how this is played out. I'm going to skip down to route poisoning. The process of sending an infinite metric route in routing updates when the route fails. So I'm going to tear down interface loopback 1, and we'll see R1 poison this route to route 2. And route poisoning prompts a rapid removal from routing updates. So when R1 poisons the route saying, oh, route 1.1.1.1, it's down, here's an infinite metric, R2 is going to apply this rule. And I spelled split horizon wrong. Split horizon. Alright, there we go. It's going to do split horizon with poison reverse. So this is a stronger variant of split horizon. All routes whose outgoing interface matches the interface at which the update would be sent or advertised within infinite metric. Holy crap, that's a mouthful. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tear down loopback 1. R1 is going to poison that route to R2. R2 will then, for a little period of time, I think about 60 to 90 seconds, is going to do poison reverse, meaning he's going to send an advertisement back to R1 saying 1.1.1.1 has an infinite metric from R2. So that's how that works. Let's see this in action. So I'm going to start the capture. I'm going to be looking from R2's port. So let's go ahead and start this up. Shrink this down. And the bad thing about all of this is RIP version 2 sends out updates every 30 seconds. I could send triggered updates and kind of speed up this process, but I'm going to let it do its thing. But in the meantime, actually, I'm going to filter just RIP routes. What the heck? Hold on. Alright, sometimes Wireshark, gets crazy. Ah. Okay, here we go. So let me filter just on RIP. Selected. Okay, so that's all I see here. And let's take a look at what R1 is advertising. So 12.12.12.1 is R1. So let's take a look at what he is advertising to R2. Let me bring this up. Expand that. And this is where split horizon comes into play. Notice that R1, when he's sending his updates every 30 seconds, he is only advertising the 1.1.1 network right there. And this is actually where split horizon comes into play, because see that update right there? Oh, that's horrible. But the reason why it's not sending out the update of this network right here, which is 12.12.12.0/24, it's because of the rule right here. Instead of advertising all routes out of a particular interface, RIP version 2 omits the routes whose outgoing interface matches the interface at which the update would be sent. So that's why 12.12.12.0/24 is never going to be advertised out fast Ethernet 0/0, because that is the outgoing interface that matches that update. So it omits that. So it only sends out this loopback 1 route. Okay, so that's split horizon. Now let's look at route poisoning. So let's go into router 1, config T, interface loopback 1, and let's shut it down. Boom. Go back to Wireshark. Let's scroll down, and this right here, that was the last update sent by router 1. And look at that right there. He sent out the update 1.1.1 with an infinite metric 16. Now that is the infinite metric for RIP. Next hop is invalid, and metric is 16. Okay, so that is the route poison. Well, now let's look at split horizon with poison reverse. Now we got to look at R2. And R2, actually this right here, R2 is this response right there. So he first sent out, as soon as he got that poison, that route poisoning, he immediately sent, not immediately, but when it's time for him to broadcast or multicast his updates, he says, oh, 1.1.1.1 metric 16, it's bad, infinite metric. Boom, split horizon with poison reverse. He's now sending this back to R1. And R2 keeps doing it. So when he first gets that poison route, he's like, okay, 1.1.1.1, bad. Now, it's waiting for R1 to say, hey, it's good to go, but in the meantime, I'm still going to send out that, I'm going to reverse send you that poisoned route with poison reverse, and also I'm going to continue sending out my updates of my network that I know of 2.2.2.2. Okay? And keeps doing it. Eventually, when it times out, R2 will stop advertising the reversed poison route. So we could wait here, or I'm going to pause the video and then see when it actually happens. So this update came in time 265. So I'm going to pause the video for a sec. Alright, so this took actually almost a full minute to send out another update. Probably has to do with the hold down timer or the flushed after timer, something like that. But you can see here at the time 3:32, got a new update from R2, and look at that. Only the 2.2.2.2 route. And notice I haven't gotten a response from R1 in well over a couple minutes. Why is that? Well, first of all, R1 will only send RIP routes every 30 seconds, but also he's not even sending anything because of this split horizon. That 12.12.12.0 interface or route is going out F0/0. So I hope this is a better explanation of distance vector loop prevention mechanisms, split horizon route poisoning, and poison reverse. I hope this was informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.